Wow. That's not good.
I had a problem on the highway and I had to pull over. I had to limp my way to a dealership where they gave me an estimate of about $3,000. I decided to tow the truck home and try to fix it myself. This one's not going to be like a typical video because I don't really have this completely planned out.
Welcome to Bob the Builder, the channel where I have no idea what I'm doing.
What I'm changing is brake pads, rotors, caliper, wheel hub. And hopefully that's it. So along with the wheel hub is the ABS sensor. And so here we go. I'm just going to start by taking stuff off and then we'll go from there. Looks pretty bad. Let's take a look back here. There's metal shavings back there. Alright, and for these I used a 3/4 socket. It's just what I had. Pretty sure like a 19 would fit. 19 millimeter, but I have this is like the small one. Shows you how much I know. I don't know what that's called, but I think this is called like a 1/2 inch, and so 1/2 inch something, so 3/4 fits on that one. So might need to. And honestly, I probably don't even need to take this off. No, I'm just taking everything apart. There's supposed to be a cap on here, so I'm gonna have to look up a cap and get a new one of those. Normally these hoses would be screwed in. This like kind of holder bracket would be screwed in right there, but because I've done this lift, it kind of threw all these wires off position, and so the guy who helped me out with this just kind of zip tied the hoses here, and so I'm gonna cut that off. Okay, so we're first going to bleed the brakes, and that's by loosening this screw here. The brake fluid should spill out. I'm going to press the brake pedal a couple of times and see if I can get a little bit of brake fluid out of here, just so that it doesn't get messy when I'm disassembling all this stuff. So there's a little rubber stopper on the top of this. We got to peel that off. I got a little bucket. I got a bucket here underneath, and so I'm just going to loosen this. For some reason, this set doesn't come with an 11 millimeter. Am I missing something? So I'm just going to use one of these if I can. Oh shoot, that's not going to work. Okay, that's a 7/16. 7/16 works. Reminds me, I should probably put my gloves on. I wonder if that's good enough. It's still pouring out. So it looks like we're right at the tail end of it. Oh my gosh. Just gonna end it right here. I don't think I can. I don't have the patience. And hopefully it doesn't make a difference. Find out. Okay, put the rubber piece back on. Cover. And now we're going to open up this bolt here, which is called the banjo bolt. Okay, that was one washer. And looks like the other washer, there's two washers. The other washer's sort of attached to that hose. So that's the brake line, and I guess bleeding it helped because it didn't make a big mess when I opened it up. I guess that's what it was for. So now we're going to work on getting the caliper bolts out. Two of them. One is here and one is here. Two big bolts. Uh-oh. Looks like I don't have easy access to that. This is like a breaker bar? I guess that's what it's called. Oh, that's not easy. I can't get that. Whew! Okay, so last night I was having a problem right over here getting my impact driver to fit back here to loosen this caliper bolt, and this one as well. It's just in the way. So I thought I'd have to go out and get a compact ratchet to sort of fit back there. So I went out and got one of these compact ratchets to fit back there. Because this doesn't fit. But then I realized if you just turn, let's see, maybe this way, turn this wheel. Turn the wheel. And obviously that turns this side as well. But then, look at that. I can get in there. Top and bottom. I probably just ruined my impact driver. Dang.
The original video of Baba working on the driver's side caliper and rotor was unfortunately lost due to file corruption. But there's good news, our cameras were also rolling on the passenger side. So now, let's take you there as Baba demonstrates the same process, removing the caliper and brake rotor.
So I think I have to release the pressure. I have to actually take this caliper off of the bracket first, and then I can take the bracket off. So the bolts I took off here were for the bracket. These are the caliper bolts right here. So then I'm just gonna take this. Got a hook here. Hook this. Probably up here. If I can. Oh, there we go. So there's no pressure on this hose. And here's the rotor. The rotor feels like worn. There's like a dent on this side, indent, and an indent on that side. It definitely feels like it could use a new rotor here. Okay, so what I think is going on is I think this has to be removed. Okay. Okay, now. Oh, it just came right off. Okay. I found this old attachment in my garage, a wire brush. I just attached it to this drill. And it looks like it's too big to fit in there, but I'm going to just try to hit some of these areas out and get some of this rust off. Oh man, I think that worked really well. Obviously it's still rust colored here and there, but I think it took a lot of the it was like really rough rust on there. I think it took a lot of that off. So that looks like it did a pretty good job. So I got up on this stool here to get into the engine bay. And what I'm looking for is the ABS sensor wire that I have to unplug. This is the one here. You can kind of see it. Now it runs up the wheel well, the side of the wheel well, right up, see, right here. And so I think it's a little red tab. I don't know which way the tab goes. So you push that tab up, and then it comes out. You press the tab, you pull, you can see how it latches over this here, hooks over this, so you need to lift this, and then it should come out. Alright, so that was a pain in the butt. That is not easy to get out. For some reason it was not easy for me. Seems like the part that clips here, it just wasn't, it was just a little bit shredded. I may have done that, I don't know, just trying to figure out how to get it out, and it just wasn't easy to lift that little tab over that little spot right there. Plus, of course, the truck is lifted, I'm standing on a stool, it's just a mess. Okay, here we go. So now we'll take this off. I don't know what it's called. Alright, these are 8mm. I think this thing is called a shroud. A shroud, maybe? Brake dust shroud. Right, this is just $3,000 quote. I'm trying to do $100,000. Trying to save a couple $1,000. Okay, here we go. Got that off. Okay, let's free up this this ABS wire. that one. Oop, leaking. Stick that back up there. Okay, got that out. Okay, so ABS wire's free. I just got to get this thing off. All right, so next step is to remove the wheel hub. All right, so that's one, that's two, 3, and 4. I can already tell I gotta move the wheel again to access this one. It's not easy because I don't have the truck lifted all the way off of that wheel. I do it when I need to do it because I've got to lift this up on its own, turn the wheel, and then set it back down on those jack stands. The jack stands aren't high enough to hold it all the way up off the ground. Probably should have thought of that before, but that's okay. I'm making it work. Alright, let's start with these two on this side. You know what I love about these tools? What is a set? What is a set if it doesn't have all the numbers? Okay, I needed an 11 yesterday. Okay, and now I need an 18. What do we have here? 15, 16, 17, 19? What? Is it just me? Does anybody know why this happens? Is like, that's super inconvenient. I'm sure I've got it in here, but it, you know, be nice to have, you know, nice to have it in a set. So I gotta have multiple sets. So here's an 18, right? But it's gotta be like super deep. What is going on? Alright, so I found another set that I had in the garage, and I got a shorter 18, so looks like I'm gonna have to use one of these big breaker bars, I think, and so luckily I have the right size for this socket. Okay. Here we go. It's a good time to give the new tool a try. See how this works. All right, got to turn the wheel and get on the other side. I think this glove's not doing any good. Okay, it's coming out. There we go. Oh yeah. That does not look good. There you go. So you can see all that nastiness in there. Oof. So I assume that I believe behind here, this is maybe the IWE, which has to do with the four-wheel drive, engages the four-wheel drive. It's supposed to be like a vacuum that engages and disengages the four-wheel drive. It looks like that's probably dirty, or it's probably compromised somehow. So once I finish this whole thing, I'm gonna test the four-wheel drive system, test that vacuum, and see if that needs to be fixed, replaced, and then I'll have to do all of this all over again. But for now, here's the wheel hub. Looks pretty beat up. Oh my goodness. Wow. That's not good. That and there's sideways. It's like a bearing or something with sideways. Is that supposed to come off? I mean, it did screw off. Oh. It's been an hour or so. Big revelation. I just found out that I don't have a 2018 F-150. I've got a 2017 F-150. So this is for a 2018 to 2020 F-150. It's wrong. That's what it's supposed to look like. You should probably double check the year of your vehicle. For some reason, since I bought this truck, I've always thought it was a 2018. From what I understand, this is supposed to be kept clean, and we're supposed to be protecting it while we're getting ready to change out into our new wheel hub, because it's obviously compromised, and I'm not changing the IWE just yet. I'm going to try to clean that out as much as I can, scrape it out, whatever I got to do to get all that junk out. I don't know if I'll be greasing it up, but I might put some grease in there. But I just got to get all that. I got to get all that metal out. Could cause more damage. I've got a whole bunch of the metal shavings. It looks like I got as much of the metal shavings out as I could. Some of the stuff in here doesn't look like metal shavings. It looks like almost like pieces of worn out black, like rubber or a seal or plastic or something. Putting this grease in here. This is mobile grease, blue, high temperature lithium grease. I think I was told not to overpack it, but just get a good amount in there. Okay, so I got this Dremel. I'm going to just go kind of right around these edges, make sure there's no rust buildup. I'm supposed to cover this all up, but I think it looks pretty good. I got most of that rust out of there. Okay, let's get this one ready to use. Alright, I've got this brake parts lubricant. This should be good for reduced friction, rust and corrosion protect, moisture proof, heat resistant. I'm just going to brush it. All around the outside where the O-ring is, and hopefully that should be good. Alright, I got the sensor in the up position. See if I can fit this in. Shaking it around a little bit. You can see it's not exactly lined up, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to position it. It's still not sealed in all the way, so if I just turn this, that's not going to seal it in just right. There we go. Let's see. I'm going to take one of these bolts and start it. Be careful of your hand when doing this. It looks like the thing is a little crazy with power, and just knocked my hand into some metal there. It kind of hurts. Careful with that. A little bit. All right. Now we got to torque it. Turns out I got to use the long one because that's the only one that'll fit on my torque thing. 140. Okay. So I heard it on that side. Okay. Jeez. Okay. One more. So here's a problem. Can't get to this one because the 18 millimeter I have is so long. So I found this in the garage. So 1/2 inch to 3/8. Definitely shorter. That should work. Oh, just barely. Okay, so now we put this thing back in. So if you remember, I don't have the dust cap for this thing. And so I ordered one. It'll be here in about a week. All right, so put this back on. Now this is supposed to be 30 foot-pound, 30 foot-pound of torque. Oh, now we gotta lock this. That's it. All right, so now we're gonna get this sensor wire up and out of the way. Eventually it's got to go all the way up through there, and I have these locations where I can screw it down, or just like the last one, you know, I think this is where this one goes, so I just put that a tiny bit in there at the moment. I'm going to make sure it gets plugged in before I lock it in place. Okay, so I'm just going to set it up out of the way. And now we got to get this thing on. All right, next up, the rotor. You see how this is just wobbly on there? I'm going to put one of these bolts in and just hold it down so it doesn't slip off while I'm messing around with the caliper, getting it greased up and ready to go. We need to do a couple of things here. We're going to take the bracket off and then grease up some of these parts. Alright, these pins have a little grease on them, but as far as I understand, I'll put some more grease on it. This part that pops out, sticks out a little bit, goes on the outside, and so they should fit in there like this. These here. Okay, so now we're gonna see these. The banjo bolt goes here. Got our washers, so we make sure those are. I'll just put it right here so we don't lose it. Okay. So I think this bracket goes here. That. And I got a bolt here and a bolt here, 2 bolts. Put some blue thread locker on these. Whoa! Okay. I don't know. I guess that's good. So 184 on here would be, go to 175, that's 80, that's about 84. Okay. Got that one. Oh, yikes. Okay. Now we got the brakes. What I learned was that some of these brake pads have like these ears. They call them ears, but they're parts that pop out the top. If you have those kinds, those go on the inside. These that I have, they don't have those, so I guess it doesn't matter. Boom. Okay. The other one. Next we put on this caliper, the main caliper here. I believe it goes this way. Put a washer on either side of that. Put this in place. Make sure it locks into this little locking position thing. Tighten that up. Okay, good. Okay, so we got the caliper on, the rotor on, the wheel hub on, everything's on. Pump the fluid into the new caliper, but also let the air out. And then close it, and then pump more fluid in the caliper, and then let the air out. So you just keep doing that until every time I open it, if no air comes out, if it's just fluid, then we're good. All right, pump it 3 times and then hold it down. You holding it down? All right, let it go and then pump it again 3 times. All right, do it again. Okay. Okay. Oh. That's a steady stream. All right, I think we're good. Okay. Big mess. So I'm gonna spray this and clean this up. All right, I think we're ready to put the wheel on. All right, I'm gonna start it off with this, and then I'll torque it to 150. Maybe I shouldn't have done that so fast. Alright, I'm going to torque it to 150. Alright, time to give it a test drive. Okay, so I took it on a little test drive and it seemed to run just fine, except I was still having the codes coming up for ABS and sensor issues and all that. And then I remembered, yeah, I completely forgot to plug this in. There we go. All right, plugged in. Now down here, may need to just zip tie these, and then I think I'll be good to go. Alright, looks like I'm still getting a steering assist fault. So it looks like it's all fixed up. The last thing I did was actually still was showing some codes. Power steering wasn't working, but luckily my neighbor has a computer that plugged into the to test the codes, and he told me he had to clear out the codes and then turn the car off, turn it back on, and drive it around. And it looks like that took care of the power steering as well. So no more codes are showing up. Power steering's working. Everything seems to be working just fine. I think that did it. So the last thing I would have had to do would be to get one of these ODB cables connected to a laptop, and then there's some software you can get to clear the codes. I would have had to do that, but because my neighbor just kind of saw me working on the truck and he walked over with this computer, and he did it for me. And so maybe I could do a walkthrough on that one of these days and show you guys how I set up that system with the ODB code reader, and check out the codes and things like that. So look, I changed the brakes, I changed the rotors, changed the caliper, changed the wheel hub, and everything is working now. This was a huge problem. It was going to cost me about $3,000. I was quoted $3,000 by the dealership. And they said that was just the beginning. They said once we fix what we see is wrong, there could be more. And so who knows what else they would have come up with after that $3,000. I would have been, you know, out of luck. I would have been in their hands. And I don't believe this was a $3,000 job. I've asked around and I looked it up. I think I would have been getting ripped off if I had done it through them and paid $3,000. So, anyways, I got it all done myself. It wasn't easy. I ordered wrong parts. I found out that I have a 2017, not a 2018. The dealership did look at me funny when I told them it was a 2018, but they just went with it. They probably, if I checked the paperwork, it probably says 2017 on there, but for some reason I didn't bother looking. I just assumed it was a 2018. That's what I always knew it was. But so it's a 2017. I was able to fix everything. It took me one day. It's still not dark. I started last night. I had to stop early because it got dark and I needed a tool. And so, you know, it took me maybe, I would say total like a half a day worth of work. I got it all done and it's running fine. So, hey, if I can do it, anybody can do it, honestly. It wasn't that difficult. It was kind of difficult, but it wasn't that difficult. I got through it. So, just remember, guys, if you like, you know, if you guys enjoyed that, watching me struggle to get my truck fixed, subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate it. Like this video. Give me some comments if you guys have experience doing stuff like this, or if you think I've done something wrong or there's something I could have done better. Please let me know. I'm always looking for advice. And so hopefully this helps somebody out there build up the courage to kind of work on their cars on their own. I think it's definitely doable. As long as you can get the tools, I think you can do it. Thanks for watching.